Season 3, Debate with Bake Sports Show. We coming live from the Mo. You know how we go. We talking basketball, football, and boxing. You got something to say, man? Jump up in them comments. We gon' keep it real with opinions and facts. Let's look at the stats. Well, that settles that. It ain't no hating. We just debating, interviewing guests so we can learn how they operating. Give you our perspective in a way that's captivating. Another sports show to put in your rotation. See, Bake choose the topics, everybody looking. Laro got the commentary and he keep it cooking. Cole with the game, he coming live from Brooklyn. You know, it's the most serious production. We giving game free, so tap in and see. Season 3, DWB, MSC.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Debate with Bake Podcast, DWB. I am your host, the man with the plan, C. Bake, a.k.a. Mr. Debate with Bake. And we back right at you. Season 3, Episode 8. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have a different background. That's right. Everybody got to step their game up, so we thought we'd do the same here at Mo Serious and DWB. Well, shout out, we shooting for Mo City Studios, you know, brand new background. As you can see, me and my co-host sitting next to each other. But yeah, we stepping it up. New background. We still with Mo Serious. Check us out at moserious.com with the man with the plan with Chuck. The man, the guy that's running the whole ship, Chuck, a.k.a. Charles Lewis. What's going down? What's going down with the other Mo Serious, you know, lineup with Guns Down, Gloves Up with Johnny Bonder, Dr. Candace Matthews, and Mo City Podcast. But we here on Debate with Bake with a new background, Season 3, Episode 8. And we looking good, man. We got the D'Amico Ryans jersey, we got the Willie Beeman, and we got the Warren Moon, even though, you know, D'Amico kind of let us down last night, but we'll get into that. But before we get going, you know, check us out on moserious.com and, you know, give us a thumbs up and give us a like. You know, we the sports center of moserious.com. But before we get all the way to the boroughs, I'm going to start right here to the man to my left, since we sit next to each other. Usually when y'all see us, we sitting across the table. But, you know, everybody got to increase. Everybody got to promote. And so we promote with the new space. And to my left here is my man with the plan, Laro, a.k.a. Ro, a.k.a. Roski, representing that 3rd Ward, Texas, with his Houston, Texas gear on. As we can see, he's still a loyal fan. But what's up, Ro?
Man, that's how we do, man. It's like, hey, look, we don't go through it, we glow through it, man. That's how we do it. It's glow up, and that's how we do it. So, yo, we on.
Yeah, we on. We on. We got to talk about last night, man. We'll get through that recap. But anyway, let's go all the way out to NYC to check him out over there. You know, he represents the boroughs, man. Just like everybody else in NYC, he get the jump from 2 teams. One weekend he with the Giants, next weekend he with the Jets. But I guess he's still here, and he still rock with the Knicks. Even though he favor the Knicks all the time, he might go through Brooklyn too. But you got that luxury when you with the #1 city in the nation as far as population. Okay, don't try to make it seem like y'all better than everybody, because y'all do try to make it seem like y'all better than anybody. But what's up, Cole? All the way from New York City with the Scully on, with the Beanie Siegel look. What's up with you, Cole?
Yeah, we over here, we chilling, man. We chilling, man. I want to commend y'all for, you know, beating us last week. You know, I was talking trash over text. I was talking trash.
Hold on, make that clear. Make that clear to the audience. Who beat who?
I was talking trash. I think some dudes in, I think they called the Missiles or the Rockets or something like that.
Oh, we Missiles now. Okay, okay.
They beat the New York Knicks, you know, but I have to give y'all props. Y'all look good. Y'all look good. Hopefully y'all.
And I got to give you credit. I got to give you credit for that, because I didn't think you was gonna mention that, but you're a real fan. You real loyal. You keep it real, because I really was gonna get you with that. I was gonna see if you're gonna say nothing. You notice I ain't say nothing in the pre-pro about it, because I was gonna see if you was gonna be honorable enough to take your whooping and talk about it. But that's good. You're an honorable man. I appreciate that.
Y'all got to come to New York, and I will say we got something waiting for y'all when y'all come back here.
Okay.
In regards to the rest of the time, you know, the Jets looked horrible yesterday. The Giants has been looking horrible. And the Knicks lost to Indiana Pacers, man. We ran out of gas. Tom Thibodeau's doing what Tom Thibodeau do, playing 6 guys 2 weeks into the season. 40 minutes. That's what Tommy do. So,
And the funny part about it is, and I guess it's your team, so you can criticize them. One day you with Tibbs, the next day you against Tibbs. But that's your coach. You can do that. You're a dedicated fan, so I give you that. All right, I get it. I get it.
But don't get me wrong. I love Tibbs. Don't get me wrong. I just think that he needs to learn to expand his bench. This is an opportunity for young players to learn when it's early, because when other people come back, and he's stubborn too. My man Sims is looking like he don't belong in the league, and he keep playing Sims. When that kid Huck Purdy, we call him Incredible Hawk in New York City, he be thriving when he in the game, man. But let me see.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I got a question before we get started, because we got to get started with this fantasy, but we're going to get to the first topic. Is there a real belief in New York, since you a native New Yorker, that the Jets are cursed? Do y'all believe that? Because I'm starting to believe it. I'm starting to believe that the Jets are cursed. Like, it seems like no matter what y'all do, it never works out for the Jets.
I want to say we're cursed, but I don't want to say we're cursed. I just want to say that we need a new GM. We need to, be forward thinking now. I think we got to think offensive coach. If it's not Rex Ryan, he's the only defensive coach that I want back here is Rex Ryan, because I think he could galvanize. He has a New York personality that the fans can relate to. But if not, I like the offensive coordinator for Detroit. I think his name is Ben Johnson. I like the offensive coordinator for the Washington Redskins. Cliff Kingsbury used to be in Arizona. I think if we can draft Shador or Cam Ward, I think either one would do their thing. But I'm praying Aaron Rodgers doesn't feel like he's the man and he can come back another season, because I can see our owner trying to, say, okay, let's try him one more time. And I don't want to get him out of here. I want him gone. I want the GM gone.
Because you know what? Here's the fact that you got to deal with. Well, here's what you got to deal with in New York. And this is true. Like, and I'm speaking in terms of the Jets, and we're gonna get started. But how does it feel going to sleep every night knowing that the Houston Texans could possibly win a Super Bowl before the New York Jets? And y'all been around since Genesis in the Bible. How does that feel?
No lie. That thought never crosses my mind. Y'all ain't winning no chip either. Y'all might be better, but y'all ain't winning no chip.
Respect.
We
got just as much of a chance as y'all do. That's what I'm saying. That's how bad y'all are. But let's get to the topic, man. I set you up and you knocked it out of the park. I give you that one. All right. All right. First topic. And make sure, ladies and gentlemen, if you followed us, to hit that like and subscribe button. We have the chat. You can participate in the chat. Get in with these questions, comment like you've been doing. Everybody doing an excellent job outside the show that's actually participating with the show. All right, let's get into it. Are the Kansas City Chiefs the best team in the National Football League? They are now 9-0. And much like what the commentators were saying yesterday on national television, they keep finding ways to win. So my question, let's talk about it amongst the panel and everybody else that's participating in the chat. Make sure you add your comments and make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Are the Chiefs the best team in the National Football League? Let's start with you, Ro. What you think?
I give them the nod, man. I got to give them the nod. Because, like you said, they're finding different ways to win. That is an under-acknowledged, underappreciated defense that really has been holding it down for years in spite of, not even in spite of anything. I mean, on top of Mahomes' brilliant, on top of Pat brilliant. So it's like, the best quarterback in the league, best team in the league, best coaching staff in the league. Hats off to them. Hats off to KC.
Cole, what you think? You think they're the best team in the league?
Until proven otherwise, you have to say yes. Like I think the way you gauge a team and how good they are is how they perform in times of pressure. And every game for them this season has been tight games, and they've won every single game in every single situation, blocking field goals, coming down last minute drive. You're the best quarterback, the defending champs. Until someone dethrone you, you're the best team.
Yeah, it's starting to look like that. I mean, the thing about it is, and I think Ro alluded to it, what's scary about them is that they're finding a way, and they haven't looked invincible to me yet. You know what I'm saying? They haven't looked like they've dominated like they've done in the past. Right. They have not had a signature dominant win. But the dangerous thing about them is that despite them not looking great, they still finding ways to win. And that is such a big characteristic for a team to win a Super Bowl. It makes me think about the Giants when they went on that run, when they beat when they beat Randy in New England. It's like every time the Giants and what I remember from those playoffs is they barely got into the playoffs. Then they had 3 football games on the road in the playoffs. They were put in every adverse situation and they responded. And so it's hard to beat a team like that that just gets put in adverse situations and finds a way to win. On top of that, your quarterback could be arguably the best quarterback of all time. On top of arguably one of the best coaches of all time.
Evolution, bro.
Right.
Evolve.
Right. And it's even in the games, another good trait to that is that when they're trailing in these games, they're not allowing teams to get large leads. They're keeping the game close, and then they find a way to win. That is very dangerous. And when I asked that question, are they the best team in the National Football League? It's like you said, Cole, with a record. But if you look at the talent, it's not necessarily the best talented roster in the NFL. But they're finding ways to win. And here's the thing. Another thing that's dangerous about this team is this. They got a good mixture of veterans and young players. It's not just a veteran team. However, it's just not a young team. They got a good mixture of that. They got a hell of a coaching staff. They respond in adversity. Let me ask the panel this. Is there a way to beat Kansas City, and how? I mean, judging by the first 9 games, have either one of you guys, and we'll start with you, Cole, and we'll come back to Roe. Is there anything that you see that is a formula to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Is there anything that you've seen within these first 9 games that goes, if somebody would have kept doing this, or if somebody would have had that, they can beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Because I don't know what it is, how you beat them, especially now with them not even playing their best football and still winning these games.
I think you have to have a top-notch defense, which I think Denver does. I think Denver can upset them on any given Sunday. But Denver is a team that could beat you on any given Sunday because defense travels. But I think for the most part, I think teams like Buffalo and Ravens are the teams that I can identify, and maybe possibly Detroit. Are teams in Detroit, San Fran, and it's a toss-up. It depends on what Philadelphia team you might get. But teams with great quarterback play, good offense, can typically go stride for stride with them. It's just a matter of just make sure you get the ball last, because if Mahomes get the ball last, I put money down every single time that he's going to win the game.
Yeah, but Cole, great quarterback play. Yeah, you need great quarterback play to beat anybody. Mm-hmm. I'm saying specifically because here's the thing. What is their strength on offense? Okay, you can't stop Mahomes. Okay, he's got a great combination of throwing and passing. He's a dual threat, and he's a dual threat when he has to be a dual threat. The only thing that remains constant, and I'm talking about the offense in particular, the only thing that remains constant from those previous teams is Kelsey. Okay, if you're a defense, you got to take away Kelsey. You have to take away Kelsey. Mm-hmm. You have to make the other guys beat you. But the other guys, you got a young Worthy in there. You got guys that they're plugging in that fit the system. But it's also Mahomes. Of course, you got to have great quarterback play to beat them. But on defense, what do you take away? And then we'll go to Roe after that. What do you take away? What do you deal with?
I think you just have to limit them to one option, whether it's the pass or the run. Because outside of Worthy, I think that, we ain't getting the Hopkins that we saw 5-6 years ago. And we're not getting Kelsey that we saw 5-6 years ago. Great players still, good players. But I think, what makes them so versatile is that they're able to run when they need to. They're able to pass when they need to. Teams that do good against them take something away. I think that, physical teams I would be scared if I were them to play a team like the Steelers, who I feel like is a very physical team who can control the front seven, the line. And I think that that they would give them a tough time. I think Ravens give them a tough time. I think gives them a tough time. Denver gives them a tough time because they play physical. They take away an element of their game. You put Patrick Surtain or whoever else is out there, Hamilton from the the Ravens and different people. You move them around and lock them certain players up. Then you make them one dimensional. It's just that their one dimensional game is still elite, but you have to limit something, and those teams can limit something. Whether it's the pass and they take something away.
Ro, what you think? And then we'll answer this question after Ro give his take. The question from H-Town Dude is how y'all feel about a 3-peat with KC. But let's get Ro's interpretation of how you stop Kansas City, then we'll get to that question.
I think, like Cole said, Baltimore was probably the best showing or threw the best shot at it on the offensive side of the ball. But the thing is, you got to really, really beat up that defense because it goes without saying. Beating them or stopping them off on offense is hard enough. But then it's really scoring on that defense that's really proven
very
to be
underrated.
Very underrated. The pass rush is
right.
crazy. Chris Jones is crazy. Like, they really doing a lot of different things. And the thing is, they take whatever you give them. Right. So it's like if you take something away or you focus on taking something away, that isn't necessarily going to get you what you need because they just going to do something else. They just don't. You have to have a stout base defense where all your matchups are really good one-on-ones. So it's like you can't really afford to double anybody.
Yeah, there you go.
Now they've got with Juju and D-Hop out there. It's like they got quality receivers that they cycling in and out. They're getting healthier by the week. It's like it's a lot of problems you got to face. And then it goes the obvious. You can't leave him. You can't leave it down in the last possession. You can't give him a shot at the end. It's like whether you got to hold the ball and not press and not try to force the ball downfield and don't try to beat him in overtime some other kind of way. It's just a lot of different factors and facets that you have to factor in when you even attempt them to stop them. So I think Baltimore put a good shot at it, but that defense, that secondary is getting leakier by the minute in Baltimore, so that's going to be problematic down the line. But on the offensive side, I think, they gave them all they could handle with King Henry and Lamar this year, their first game. So,
and I would say Baltimore, to echo what you said, and then also Cole. I think Cole brought up a good point. I think the Steelers, I think they also have that physical defense. I agree with Cole and you, but I think we have to give. Both of y'all made a good point in terms of you can't let them have the last possession on offense, and that's why I think people sleep on a lot with that defense. That defense is the bend don't break defense. I'm talking about Kansas City, and they are able to keep them in the game to where you don't run away from them, and then they allow Mahomes to do what he does. So we got to give credit to the defense. People need to start talking about, I feel the national media doesn't give that defense enough credit because they keep those games close enough to where the offense can strike at the last minute. Now let's go to the chat. We got a question here from H-Town Dude 32. How y'all feel about a 3-peat with KC? Let me answer that first, and then we'll go to the panel, and then we'll get to the fantasy picks. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on this episode with Debate with Bake. But a 3-peat is very possible. Very possible. To me, the most I don't see what's so dangerous about this 9-0 run right now is that unless it's a major injury, and I'm talking about Mahomes level, and maybe that might be the major, or maybe Chris Jones, where they miss somebody of that caliber on their team. Because I think even if they lose Kelsey, it'll hurt them. But I still think with Mahomes back there, they still can win with that system and Mahomes. I think they can 3-peat because for me, I think the only legitimate competition, I'm just being biased on what I've seen, is that AFC. And within that tier of AFC teams that can knock them off, you got everybody chasing Kansas City. And just like you two said, I think Baltimore, Pittsburgh is right there. And I think Buffalo is always going to be right there. Buffalo is 8-2, and they look different now that they have a number one receiver. But still, it's still a tall tale because, again, they can beat Baltimore. They've shown that they can beat Baltimore. And then here's another thing that we got to consider. Even with Pittsburgh, they're probably going to get, when I say they, I'm talking about the Chiefs. They are probably going to have home field advantage again throughout the playoffs. So who can go in there and not just compete? And when we talk about them having the last possession, who can go in there and take that? That's the question. And I don't think anybody in the NFC can beat them. I really don't. And you got to think about that too, because now we got to start talking about the defense and how they're keeping games close. And that's all they need to do with Mahomes. Who in the NFL do we think can blow them out? Because I feel like you're going to have to blow them out.
Yeah, you got to put them down.
I think you got to put them down. Yeah, you got to blow them out to beat them. So definitely a three-peat. And then if it's a three-peat, I mean, I don't know. There are teams, like I said, those teams we talked about, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, maybe even Buffalo, who can get down to the last couple of possessions of the game. But they're probably going to have home field advantage. They're probably going to have a first-round bye. Who can go in Kansas City in December?
Like you said, down to the NFC.
Who do we have confidence in right now that's shown us
overtime
right? They can go in there and just outright smack them. You know, very much possible a three-peat. Cole, what you think? You think they can three-peat?
I think they will. Well, I ain't gonna say will yet, but I think there's for me an 80% chance. It's just a matter of how it lines up. If they don't get the number one seed, I don't see them three-peating.
This is week 9.
They need the bye because I can't see them beating Buffalo. A mix of Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Ravens back to back if they don't get that bye.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, Cole, is there anybody? Let's just say, let's go Buffalo, Baltimore, any of those teams that we named in the AFC. If you pick anybody from the NFC, maybe it's San Francisco, or anybody like that. Is there anybody that you feel like can go in there in the playoffs and take one from them?
I think Buffalo and Baltimore would be, to me, my best two shots of going in there and beating them. I think Denver can give them a game, but Bo Nix would have to play out his mind.
Yeah. Ro, I mean, you think three-peat? Is it possible?
No. Three-peat is better than possible. It's almost inevitable at this point, like you said, barring a catastrophic injury to Pat. Really,
that's really the only level, yeah.
Because at the same time, all these close games week to week, all these boys coming close. But I'm telling you, the scary part about it is they get healthy at last week as well. Very few of those guys went to just IR to just stay with the season-ending type injuries. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the more ways they find to win, the more versatile they get, and then at the end of the day, this is Pat time. You know what I'm saying? Once it gets cold, January, February. That kid's months, for sure. So, yeah, it's almost inevitability. Shout out to Jay and Harden Clark. Shout out to Coop, Angelo, everybody that's in there tuning in. What's going down, man?
What's going down with you? We appreciate y'all coming on DWB, showing support. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Right now at this particular point in the season, and the season is still, we're at the midway point, I think. I don't see anybody that can – I don't see anybody that I can say for sure can go down.
Unless they go undefeated. If they go undefeated like Random and Patriots did, they might just happen to get knocked off in the bowl by some happenstance.
Well, I mean, yeah, that usually happens. But I'm saying, judging by what we see on the field,
ain't nobody done. Ain't nobody done.
Yeah. But let's get into the fantasy picks, man. I think it's pretty cut and dry with Kansas City. Shout out to the chat, man. It's blowing up. Keep bringing in your questions and keep bringing in your comments. But let's get to Chuck for the fantasy picks of the week. We got Monday Night Football. And let's get Chuck on the wheels and steels and tell us what we got. And hopefully we can start winning something. Okay. Dude, I have not been following the Rams. What's their record?
4 4 or something like that. I think they're 4-4. I think. I'll let you know right now.
They got to be 500 or a little bit below 500. They got to be a middle of the pack team, right? That's the NFC West, right? Oh, man.
They are 4-4. They're 4-4.
I don't trust.
They're 4-4.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like they're better than 2 touchdowns. I mean, I know you was asking Cole, but see, here's the thing. You over there, you asking him that, Chuck, I could tell by the look on the face and how the hat sitting to the side. See, he got his gambling hat on. This is what gets us in trouble right here. See? Because see, he trying to finagle around the fact that we not supposed to put our money into Matthew Stafford making 2 touchdowns, but he finna figure out some kind of way, the New York beard rub, that
he get the 2. He get the 2.
see?
So are you overthinking?
I say he go for 2. He's playing the Dolphins.
Okay, so are you basing that off of evidence? Are you looking at stats, or you just
I'm
because I know
basing
you're a
off-
gambler?
I'm basing off the 2-6 Dolphins and what their defense have shown all year.
But you're not worried about Stafford. You're just thinking about the Miami defense.
I'm thinking about Miami defense, and I think Stafford get 2. He got Cooper back, and he got Puka back, or Puka Nakua back. He got Puka Nakua back. So
you saying it? So I guess you saying that you think the Rams are gonna win.
I think the Rams are supposed to win. They got a solid running game and 2 good receivers.
Are they in Miami?
They're in LA.
Well, I'll let Roll call this, man. I'm with the interception versus the 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't see him thinking and getting 2 of them out there on Monday night. Like I said, I think the Dolphins are chomping at the bit to get back. I think he's gonna throw a pick. I think that's easy money. He's gonna try to run them.
I think it's very easy money, but again, Cole is the gambler, man. So
2 touchdowns.
I don't think 2 touchdowns is hard.
yeah, it's hard.
I don't think it's hard with these 2 receivers. These 2 receivers, when healthy, are good.
Well, I'm with the interception. y'all go where y'all want.
He'd be good, like Brett. I don't see it.
Is the chat paying attention? What's the chat saying? Because
Oh, I got you.
what is the chat saying? Because I look, chat. Do we think that Matthew Stafford, chat, would you put your money on, is it Stafford, right? Is Stafford with the LA Rams, would you put your money that he's going to get 2 touchdowns tonight or 1 interception? Not that we have that much time. I think the 1 interception is safe.
Matthew Stafford at Dallas as a gunslinger to the core. Yeah, this wasn't turn the ball over. Square business. I don't care what it is.
Cole, right now you in the minority.
I mean, I'll take it. We go with it. I'll go with what y'all say today.
Yeah, we'll go 1 higher on the interception. Let's pick with that name. So what do we think this is going to be? So do you think he's good for
Anything else on him?
I like that better than 2 touchdowns. I like that better than Stafford on 2 touchdowns. Lower than 71.
He is their
Yeah,
primary
yeah.
receiver. Cole, what you think?
I say yes.
All right. I'll go with that. I'm cool with that.
I like that. Family say INT is a guarantee.
There you go.
That-
There you go.
Hey,
We got
shout
the
out
endorsement from the chat, right?
Shout out to Jay.
Exactly.
Shout out to Jay.
Yeah. Appreciate you, chat.
all right, so let's look at
Don't even try it.
do y'all think he can get to
I think he go for 2 picks.
he can get for more than 160?
Yeah. With Tua? Ah, man, they such a scoring machine when he does sometimes. Is this his first game back? He's been back? His second game back.
They
How did
lost
you do
it.
last game?
It was all right. They lost it close.
What was but did they have a high power scoring offense like they usually do? I mean, we can't judge it on one
Might
game.
have been 24. It was like 27.
So y'all want to go more than 2 touchdowns? Oh, 2 interceptions.
I think he- more than one.
Yeah, I think we need more.
What you think, Cole?
I say I don't think he'll get more than 2 interceptions. I think he'll have 1, but no more than that.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna have 2 in the set. I'm not. I mean, the Rams. Who's over? Nobody. I understand why y'all want to go with that bet, though.
But their defense is solid enough. Ain't nobody just putting up big numbers.
It
on
is
them
decent.
boys.
They do have a decent defense. I just don't know nothing about them on offense, even though I know they got Puka. Puka been out. I mean, it's on y'all. I'm undecided on that. What do you think, Cole?
I would say
Plus Tyreek banged up. Tyreek is questionable.
Yeah, but they still got a
he's
lot.
playing though. I put Tyreek for a touchdown, man.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Has there been a Jalen Waddle sighting anywhere in Miami this year?
It has, but it's been more complimentary. It ain't been the main focus, which we thought he was going to be. But, you know, 2 of them banged up. They got some issues. I can't see. Yeah, we can't.
Yeah, I can't.
Man, that's too much right there.
You got some insider information with that
I mean, we need
now.
the Back to the Future 2 book to get that.
So you take that when they just
That's why they doing that. Yeah, because they know we ain't. Okay. It make you want to. It make you think about it. You know? Oh yeah. I ain't gonna say oh yeah, but
Not in the first quarter, huh? Okay, for the game, yeah, that boy give him 6. Yeah,
I think so. Cole, you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I would say, yeah, I do. I can live with it. I mean, it's gambling, man. You got to take risks somewhere.
I mean, that's a good risk to take on. I mean, he's gonna have to at least target him more than that, you know.
Yeah.
But I think for them to have a chance to, well, I mean, I'm saying that LA can try to take that.
Yeah, they could think this. Yeah, if they've been watching tape,
Yeah, they could try to take that. Is it McVay is over there, right? Is their coach? Sean McVay. All right, cool. Are we going to sponsors or are we going straight to the topics? All right, cool. Let's get into sponsorship and then let's get to the topic. You can notice that I sat up on this couch because I'm ready. I'm so
Yo, rep the movement with Mo Serious Fashions. Copy. Yo, rep the movement with Mo Serious Fashions. Copy a fresh snapback or hoodie or a tee. All representing the Mo City Podcast, Debate with Bake, or Gloves Up, Guns Down. Everything is custom made with love from our top-notch manufacturers. We got a dope range of colors and sizes to fit your vibe. Everything from blue, red, green, black, white, and more. Rep the Mo and keep it fresh, fam. Hit up moseries.com/merchandise and order today. Let's go.
Men's Fragrance, your home for 100% authentic men's cologne. We carry high-end fragrances like Creed, YSL, Gucci, Polo, and more with below retail prices. All orders come with free shipping. Order online at mens-fragrance.net. Men's Fragrance. Smell good for less.
Stop. It's COVID, flu, and RSV season. Boost your immune system now.
Fortress was developed to provide key ingredients that provide such aid to the body's immune mechanisms.
So how do I fight COVID, the flu, and RSV? So our job isn't to defend ourselves from things, it's to help support our body's natural immune system to begin with. And when you look at Fortress, that's exactly what we're after. Individually sourced ingredients that have been demonstrated to support our natural immune system and help our bodies just do a good job at what they're naturally meant to do. And that's why Fortress is a very nice combination of these independently sourced ingredients that can help support a healthy immune system.
Learn more about Fortress and natural ways to boost your immune system by clicking the link.
All right, shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Chuck and the Mo Series family for coming through with their sponsorship. And check us out on moseries.com. See what we got going on. We got hoodies, we got merchandise, we got everything that you just saw on those sponsors. And go there and check it out. Order some stuff. Let me know how it feels, man. Let me know how that hoodie feel, how that hat feel, because I need to get back on my game. I need to get some DWB merch and some Mo Serious merch. But check us out at moseries.com. All right, let's get into it. Current NFL topics. Now, I got a question for the chat and, of course, the panel. But I want the chat to really tell me this because I'm very concerned because I am kind of undecided on this question. But who is currently, right now, in you guys' opinion, and I'm asking the panel, and we'll go to Roe first, who is the best pass rusher in the NFL right now, currently?
That's tough. That's tough.
It's tough. That's why I said I'm kind of stuck in between a couple of them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say right off top, I take the easy money. That young kid, that T.J. Watt, man, that young T.J. in Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about Von Miller. I ain't no Von Miller site. A lot of guys are kind of up and down. We talked about Chris Jones earlier, but I rock with the white boy. I think that one, yeah.
Safe with that.
Yeah.
All right. Cole, what you think?
Man. It's either my man with the Raiders, Crosby, or might go with Watt. I just love
Okay,
Watt.
so is there a consensus? Okay. It sounds like Watt is on all three of our lists. What about Parsons in Dallas?
He's injured. He was injured. I can't put him on that list right now.
Not right now because he's injured. Okay.
But I think he's one of the best pass rushers. Even when he's not sacking, he's still making an impact.
I agree with Crosby. Now, just because Cleveland is not playing good, can we still put Miles on that list? Former NFL Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year last year.
I think he's having an average year this year.
Okay. So, is there anybody that we think Parsons is coming back from injury? The kid in Cleveland, we saying is when he's having a regular season, an average season, according to Coles. I like that. The kid in Vegas, but Vegas is mediocre.
He's
so is it safe to say that it is TJ hands down?
Yeah, I think Myles Garrett got that Khalil Mack disease.
Yeah,
I ain't seen him.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's safe to say.
Is it safe to say?
I think it's safe to say.
Okay. It's pretty easy that TJ, and I'm trying to find something because I keep saying to myself, man, I don't hear much about TJ, but again, Pittsburgh is never in the national media like I think they should be. But watching him, I kind of watched a little bit of him yesterday, and it's like, yeah, he's got to be the number one pass rusher right now. Man, let me ask you this.
How's that kid in Washington?
He's doing good, but I think Washington is more about committee. I think it's more about committee. Not to take nothing. Right. I'm not to take anything away from them, but I just think that whole defensive line is unbelievable. Chris Jones, you could put in there as well, but I also think that Kansas City's defensive line is stepping up as a whole too. Let me ask you this question about TJ. Is it time that we start mentioning him as being better than his brother JJ?
Can't say that.
Can't say it. Now, are you biased because of that hat and that shirt?
Probably a little.
Now, let me ask you this. What is it that TJ is not doing that you say it's not time to be compared to JJ?
Because JJ brought a little different skill set to it. He had the bull rush. He had the spin moves. He also brought, hence his first nickname, that JJ SWAT. He was one kind of invented when I saw batting or deflecting a lot of passes off the line. His vertical leap incorporated with what was going on. And then I think because he's a little bigger, I think he may have been by 6'4", 6'5". He was more along the Reggie White mold of defensive end. You know what I'm saying?
You think he's got more physical?
Yeah, I think he had that physical
TJ?
side.
Is
TJ's
TJ
more of a speed rusher.
Okay,
Yeah, TJ can get
okay.
around that edge. It's hard to chip TJ, you know.
But have they done the same accomplishment-wise? How many defensive player of the years? JJ got 3, right? How many TJ got? You know, Cole?
I think he only has one, if he has one.
He
But
got
I
one.
will say this. In my opinion, what makes him better than his brother is that
And when you talk about clarify, TJ.
the younger Watt is better than TJ Watt. In my opinion, JJ Watt. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's better than TJ Watt is better than JJ Watt because he's not as injury prone as his brother.
That's a great point. That can go into a case for a debate. He stays more. He stays on the field more. He's healthier.
I think it's the benefit of playing with a more well-rounded.
Think so? Yeah. Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, JJ had to play on a lot of rickety defenses, so to speak.
Yeah, and that's a good. That's a great point. I never thought about that. When I thought about the comparison, that is a great point. Now, JJ is the interior lineman, right? Is TJ on the outside? He's an end. Okay, so he is more. He's comparable to Michael Parsons too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. I think TJ is. It's a quiet dominance. You know, not. Yeah, he's not doing like you said. He's not swatting. He's not making the huge highlight plays, but he's definitely effective. I don't think he gets enough credit because of the Pittsburgh defense and then the lack of media coverage for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So yeah,
you know what? That white boy was dope till he went down. The big boy in Detroit.
I was about to say that because you know what?
He wasn't better than Crosby though. He wasn't better than Crosby though.
Well, here's the thing. I was looking for him last night, and I thank God he didn't play last night because it's a nightmare to try to block him. And Crosby. I think Crosby, he doesn't get the media coverage either because the Raiders are subpar. You know, but he's great. He's definitely up there. I mean, he's going to go to Pro Bowl. He's going to be in the conversation of Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to make all pro this year. But I just think it's the team. And I want to throw Chris Jones in there, too. He doesn't get enough credit because of the offensive prowess of the Kansas City Chiefs. But I do think it's TJ Watt.
And let's be honest, what's his name actually has the best numbers is my man, is it Hendrickson?
In Denver?
Denver. Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, just saw him, boy. You're right.
He leads the league in sacks. He has 11 sacks.
Yeah, poor Cincinnati, man. All the talent, they just not – well, they always start off slow. I wouldn't write Cincinnati off yet. Ooh. That's a tough division at AFC North.
Okay, somebody beating, boy. I'm talking about that boy had 55 points.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, Jamal had 55 points sitting up at the press conference.
Yeah, you're right. I cannot deny it. All right, which team in the NFL right now, going into next year, and it's early, needs to draft a quarterback? The Tennessee Titans, Dallas Cowboys, Las Vegas Raiders, New York Giants, and I'm going to throw Cole's choice in there, the Jets. Which team do you think needs the quarterback the most? Let's start with you, Cole. I know you're a little biased, but you got the Titans, you got the Cowboys, the Vegas Raiders, the New York Giants, and I'll throw your Jets in there. Go ahead.
I'm not going to be biased at all. I'm going to say all of them. All of them needed one.
You got to pick one.
Except for the Dallas Cowboys. If I had to pick one, man, they all needed that.
They do.
I think between the Raiders and the Giants.
Okay.
Raiders and the Giants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bro,
I'm definitely leaning the same. For the simple fact that the Giants seem to have a lot of stuff in place outside of what Danny Dimes be doing. So it's like they could definitely use a nice young infusion at quarterback. And Vegas just deserves a quarterback. They just deserve one, period. I mean, the organization, the culture, they need one as well. Tennessee don't deserve shit. I'm just sorry. They are their own problem. You trade away King Henry. You trade away traded away all these pieces.
Trade away
And
Willis.
they
Look
let
at
you-
Willis. They
And they
traded
let
away
your boy
Willis.
go, right? Yeah, they let
Willis
walk
go.
out,
Yeah,
right?
Willis is
That
in
was
Green Bay
stupid.
now. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Tennessee need a new GM. We ain't
Yeah.
gonna worry about the quarterback. We
Yeah.
we understand. Tennessee and New York both need new GM.
Yeah.
Dallas, y'all can get away with that. I'm not gonna
Both
ride
New
y'all
York
for
teams.
that.
Both
know what I'm
New
saying?
York teams need new GM.
You feel me?
I think it's the Giants.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You know what I don't understand about the Giants? Now, New York is one of the toughest places to play, period, in any sport. And Cole, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Why is it not more national criticism of Daniel Jones? I mean, I feel like he should be getting killed. If we can kill Deshaun Watson, if we can kill Baker Mayfield, and I'm talking about this podcast, if we can kill, other quarterbacks, why isn't Daniel Jones, and I could be wrong, Cole, I'm talking about the national media. I don't know what it's like up in New York. Are they giving him, in your opinion, and it's opinion based, are they giving him enough criticism? Because I feel like I think Daniel Jones, they don't give him nearly the criticism I think he should get.
Matter of fact, how did some bitch get a nickname? Why is he Danny Dimes? I ain't seen him throw a dime
I
yet.
don't know.
I ain't seen him dime nobody
they
yet.
keep giving him chances after chances. And I'm actually disappointed in the Giants because I thought they were more of a historical franchise.
I will say this. I will say when it comes to Danny Dimes, I think it's twofold. I say 50% on the GM, 50% on him. In fact, I say 50% on I say 70% on GM and coaching, 30% on him. I truly believe they never gave him the tools to win. He always had a horrible offensive line, and then you get rid of Barkley, who was a safety net. And I think that you didn't set him up to win. I think you just have Malik. Who scares you on that offense besides Malik Neighbors?
Nobody.
And that offensive line is horrible. I actually can see a Danny Dimes when Tua went out. If you would have had Danny Dimes on there, I could see them winning some games.
Well, see, I'm okay with him. And I'm glad you brought up that point because that's what I was ready to say. I think he's a good backup. I don't think he's proven yet that he's a starting quarterback. Now, does he have some good games? Does he show some daylight? Yes. He shows that he has a good, strong arm. He kind of reminds me of your boy that used to be in New York that's in Minnesota now with the arm talent. Yeah. I just don't think he's proven himself yet as a starting quarterback. And I think I have to give some credit to what you're saying in terms of, New York, as far as how they've moved and maneuvered that roster. Yeah, they deserve some criticism for not putting things around him. However, I still think that they have been loyal to him to a point to where even if they haven't put the best weapons around him, he should be playing better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get enough criticism, I believe, because the Giants are going nowhere. And I think they need a quarterback. I mean, of course, Tennessee, as bad as they are, I don't know what can help Tennessee. I'm kind of like Ro. I really don't have any sympathy for them.
I think Tennessee is the type of team that you don't draft a quarterback. I think they should make a trade for Dak Prescott. I think someone like Dak Prescott can elevate their game a little bit more.
Maybe. That may not be a bad trade, but I just think, maybe they do need to go into free agency or something like that. Dallas, I think Dak is okay. I think Dallas has other problems that they need to address. Vegas, I think Vegas is okay. Do they need a quarterback? Of course.
He's another person that I feel like Dak. I think certain organizations don't have the infrastructure for a rookie. I don't think the Titans have the infrastructure for a rookie. They need a veteran. I don't think
it might not even be the infrastructure. It might be the media. Some teams, they just don't want to. They don't want to. Some teams in some markets do not want to build a team. They want to win now. The Yankees are never going to get behind young prospects. No, that young prospect better perform now because we're used to winning. Tennessee, maybe they might be the infrastructure, and it just might be the media. I mean, I don't know why they would think they should do that. I mean, they ain't won nothing in a long time. They can't even really afford to be like, we're going to be picky and not get a young player. But it could be that. It could be the infrastructure. It could be the coaching. One example, I give that. I was just talking to my dad about this the other night. When y'all sent Van Gundy down here, he ran all the young players off because his belief was he didn't believe in young players. He ran off Francis. He ran off Mobley. And that was just Jeff Van Gundy. He was an old veteran coach, defensive-minded coach. He did not coach young players well. And he even admitted it when he was started doing his broadcasting. He doesn't give a lot of young players, the time of the day. Could be that in Tennessee. You could be onto something like that. I just think for New York, because they're the number one team in New York, and it is the media capital of the world, or in the United States, rather, they should be winning, or they should be looking like they have a chance to win. I mean, they're almost neck and neck with the Jets, who I think is cursed. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Ron. My bad.
Put it this way. Sorry, Bryce. Carolina need to draft a quarterback too. Carolina need to draft a quarterback.
You know what, though? Like Cole said about New York, I just don't think Carolina done Bryce
a service. Yeah, they're very Tennessee-ish in terms of
that.
And
did they just win a couple games, right? Did they just win a game
and
or
that's
two?
what it is. I feel like when it comes to Tennessee, when it comes to Carolina, they got a solid defense in place. They're in games. They just don't have good quarterback play. You don't need great quarterback play because they have decent running games. You got Chuba Hubbard, you have Pollard, you have Spears, TJ Spears with Titans. They just need a quarterback that can go in there and make you, help you with.
Don't turn the ball.
Go to either team and they can win 8 games, 8
Right.
to 10 games, easy.
Right.
Which kind of buddy in Minnesota might be on the move too. I might get a good creative pick on
That might be. That might be.
Waiting in Minnesota though, you have a rookie waiting to start. He was going to start this year.
Right.
Oh no,
right.
that's what I mean.
Right. I think somebody in the chat mentioned that too. Yeah, I just think it's the Giants, man. I don't understand why we're still high on Daniel Jones. I mean, yeah, he's got talent, but say what you want about the organization. He's underperformed me. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's the Giants. I think both of y'all are right in terms of everybody on this list needs quarterbacks. But I think the Giants, I think they're going nowhere with Daniel Jones. I don't see any bright spots. I don't see anything. I'm not even sure if Barkley stayed there, whoever they had that stayed there, that they were actually going to make the playoffs. I just think the quarterback play is subpar, and I just don't understand why he doesn't get more criticism. If Bryce deserves to get benched, why not Jones? You see what I'm saying? I don't understand that. Even, and I argue back and forth with Cole on this, but if Deshaun Watson, if he deserves to get benched, then Daniel Jones deserves to start.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And you're gonna see what's his name might get benched if they lose a couple more games too. Caleb Williams. So
yeah.
I don't think anyone's immune to it. I think that you have to look at it as in you have 52 other guys on the roster. Like football, your career span is usually 2-3 years unless you were great.
Right.
So I'm not trying to waste people's years. If I'm a coach, you perform or you're not performing. That's why I love the Bill Belichick's and I love because they hold people accountable. They're like, you're not performing. Bledsoe have a seat. Tom Brady in there.
Well, the only thing I'll say about Caleb is this: he's the number one pick, and you let Justin go to Pittsburgh. You have to give him games.
You have to.
You got to give him games. You got to give him games.
And Trevor Lawrence can see the bench too.
Right. Trevor Lawrence is another one. Him and Daniel Jones. I mean, that's another one. Like Trevor Lawrence.
He's not overrated. I will say this. I could look at Trevor Lawrence. He's not overrated.
I'm not saying he's overrated.
He's a starter. He's a starter in this league.
I'm just saying he's underperforming. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's overrated because he has shown us flashes. I don't know. And that coach might be the next coach out in Jacksonville.
Peters.
Because they're not responding to him, or maybe it's something else, but something needs to change in Jacksonville. But the thing about it, what bothers me about that is, let's be fair in the media. If we're going to criticize Deshaun Watson, if we're going to criticize other quarterbacks, where is the criticism for Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence? Where is that?
Question for you. If you're the Giants, you get the number one pick. You have and they offer you Trevor Lawrence. Do you take him, or do you draft one of the two quarterbacks coming out that we know is going to be number 1 and 2?
I think you have to go in the draft, because here's the thing. You also got to think about this. Let's just say hypothetically, and I'm giving a hypothetical situation. Who would be the top quarterback? Would it be the kid from Miami or Shador, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say it's Shador. Okay. If you're in New York, there's no place to go but up in terms of your quarterback play. if you bring in Trevor Lawrence and it doesn't work, then all you're doing is replacing Daniel Jones in terms of you just brought another free agent veteran in here to do the same thing. And here's the thing about that as well. You just switch places as far as veterans. And you're not going to sell tickets with Trevor Lawrence. At least with Shador, you're going to sell tickets just because of the draw. And here's the thing. Any game that you win with Shador is going to be looked on as a plus in terms of, okay, he's a rookie. He came in. Let's say you win 6 games. That's great for New York for a rookie. He's going to sell tickets. You're not selling tickets with Trevor Lawrence.
Plus, he's going to retain his value. Even if you want to get over.
Exactly. And then how many years do you – and another thing too, Cole, how many years do you think Trevor Lawrence has left where he's playing at an optimal level?
I think he's still young. He's probably like 26, 27 now.
Yeah, but again, 26, 27 versus a Shador Sanders or the kid from, or any other quarterback that comes in. You want to take – it's like what Chicago was doing. You can take the criticism now because you got a rookie quarterback, but you get him games, you get those ticket sales. You don't bring in a Trevor Lawrence if you can get that, in my opinion. Because you still got to sell tickets. I think either way it goes, you're not going to win games with either one of them right off. Mm-hmm. Now, I could be wrong about Trevor, but I'm not sure as a GM if I want to take that criticism for bringing in another veteran quarterback that, didn't play that much better than Daniel Jones. He pretty much playing the same way. 2 starting quarterbacks. Now, it's arguable that Trevor has a higher ceiling and Trevor's had a better career up to this point. But right now, both of them are losing veteran quarterbacks. You see what I'm saying?
Is that the problem in New York with the Jets too? They like the Tennessee or like Carolina? Possibly. Is it that the team is too?
I think we're in total disarray. I personally think that we got people thinking they better than they are. You have the Sauce rated as the number 1 corner. He hasn't had an interception in 2 seasons. And he doesn't tackle well. I could name 3 or 4 corners I would probably take over him. And I'm a Sauce fan, but I think that Wilson, he's up and down. I think Devonta Adams, who we just traded for, hasn't shown me nothing since he's been there. And I don't know if it's Aaron Rodgers or if it's just him. He's diminishing as a player. I just don't think we look like a good team. And I think that the good thing about the Jets is that I think we can trade some of those assets and start to build out a good team. We just need a coach like a Belichick or someone who can build a foundation and create a culture. Like I always say to you with Tom Thibodeau, you need a culture building coach.
Yeah, I do need a coach.
And then like you said, you need that culture changing transcendent player.
Right.
Who is Shador, who I really think I actually think he's a top tier. He's a Daniels. He's a your guy's quarterback from Ohio State. He's like one of those type of quarterbacks. I really believe this. I've been saying this forever. I argue with people on Bleacher Report who used to say back. Now what do you see back? Back is like a 3rd-day quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, man, because one thing I will give the Jets is this.
They're trying.
and somebody over there knows talent. It's just putting it together and creating some kind of harmony. That's the problem, which is more than what I can say for Tennessee. Tennessee, they don't even know talent. They're letting talent walk out of the door. Mm-hmm. I still can't believe they let Willis walk out of the door. That is asinine to me, barring their quarterback situation. Like whoever made that decision, and I'm saying making that decision, I'm not in the locker room, but based on, if I'm a Tennessee fan, I'm like, y'all let Willis out of the door for what we got now? You understand what I'm saying?
And I don't think they draft another quarterback right away because you can't draft a quarterback 3 years in a row or 3 of the last 4 years.
Exactly.
That's telling everyone you're incompetent. So what do? You trade for that. You say, hey, we go with the guaranteed person.
Well, and that might work. You're right. That might work in Tennessee. Because obviously you can't hold on to young quarterbacks, and obviously you don't know the talent level. You can't look at talent effectively for young quarterbacks. So maybe you do. Maybe it's Dak. Maybe a Trevor Lawrence goes over there. I mean, they can't do worse than what Jacksonville is doing in Tennessee. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe you send Trevor over there. Maybe you give Trevor a fresh start with a market, unlike New York, that's not looking to win right away. Maybe you do that.
And you re-up like Golf did in Detroit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe you do that. Maybe you do that. Maybe you do what the Rams did in their Super Bowl year. Maybe you get Troy, you fill up on defense, and you break the bank on all kind of players like Von Miller and stuff like that. Not necessarily Von Miller, but somebody of his caliber and status. And you go after the AFC South, you go after the AFC, and then you win the championship. But you might be right about that, Cole, because obviously the Tennessee Titans cannot evaluate young quarterbacks, maybe young talent, period. So maybe we're on to something, you know? So I don't know. I just know that at least the Jets have an eye for talent. The Jets need a GM. They need maybe a Belichick type of figure, somebody that can put everything together. They need a philosophy. But they know talent. They've had talent.
Yeah, build around Brees.
Yeah, they've got talent in New York. So, you know, the talent is not – somebody knows what they're doing as far as talent. Putting it together is the question for the New York Jets. All right. Let's get one more football question in, and then we'll move on to the association. All right. I respect my man Ryan Clark, but I want to ask you guys this question. We always talk about this, but just because it's Ryan Clark, I respect him. But I want to ask you if you agree with his list. Do you agree with his top 5 quarterbacks of all time? And he listed them in this order. I didn't just put them down here like you can flip-flop these. This is what he said. His number 1 is Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes. Now, Brady being 1, Montana 2, Rodgers 3, Peyton 4, Mahomes 5. Let's start with you, Cole, this time. How do you feel about that list? Do you rearrange it? Do you take somebody out? How do you feel about that?
I rearrange it just by taking the last person who was Mahomes and putting them first. And then I
hate when I agree with you sometimes, man. Go ahead.
And I may swap depending. If you ask me, my issue is I think Brady and Peyton Manning are on the same level. I always thought that, to be honest with you. Even though he didn't win championships, I just felt like his cerebral game before the snap was right there. But Montana, I seen Montana, yo. Montana would have won championships with New England too, man. I'm sorry, man. He would have won championships with New England too.
And before Mahomes, I'm going to let Ro go next, but let me just say this. Before Mahomes, I had Montana as my GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'll get into mine later. But Ro, what do you think about this list?
I'm gonna have to chop a lot of that vanilla up off that list, man. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Okay. I knew Ro was gonna do this.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to go and send discount double check to somewhere else. Like I said, he might end up in Canton. He might end up in somewhere.
Rodgers, right?
But he not top 5 all time. No way, no how. Just ain't happening. Don't like it.
No how.
Not even without him MVP. Don't like it at all. Peyton also can go. We talking about the top 5 all time.
Okay.
Top 5 all time.
Then you got to give us your top 5.
Peyton and all that cerebral, all that thought process, that big old forehead.
How many two? Just one.
No, two. Yeah, one in Indy, one in Denver.
Okay,
One in Denver.
Okay. But the one in Denver really wasn't. I don't consider that.
He ain't earned that. Cam should have got that ball. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. But we gonna say.
So you bumping.
I'm gonna do the Cole. I got to put Mahomes number 1 right now because Mahomes, the tape is still rolling and everything. Followed by, man, the real Joe Cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Joe Montana's number 2. Tommy Boy is 3. You know what I'm saying? I got to put him up there because, arguably, was it the product? Was it the system in New England? No, he proved it wasn't it. Took it to Tampa and got him another one. Tommy is easily top 3. You know what I'm saying? Or third. Then I'm going to have to go against the grain. I'm going to throw somebody unsung out there like.
This is why I like it because I know you're going to give me.
Nah, I'm going to have to do like a.
I know you're going to give me something.
Drew Brees.
You know what? He was in my. He was. I was thinking of him, yo.
I'm gonna put Drew Brees in there number 4. I'm put Drew Brees number 4, and then I ain't gonna go because like I said,
you know what? I would take Rodgers off too.
And hold that thought, because I want to ask you. I want him to finish. Because hold that thought. Go ahead.
One more, last one.
I was trying to get to that first, but yeah, go ahead.
Last one.
Let him finish.
Last one of the 5. I'm gonna go With my man Ringless Dan the man, Dan Marino.
Okay, I can rock with Dan Marino.
I'll take Rodgers off mine.
Yeah.
I'll do the same thing and put Breeze. And I'll take what you call. I don't mind taking off. I probably could take off Manning, and I could probably put John Elway.
Okay, and that's a good one. That's a good one. I can ride with that. But the Drew Brees versus Steve Young, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this, bro. Over Steve Young.
Steve Young had the benefit of the TO of a little rice cakes, and that's not taking anything away because that West Coast offense in a way
wasn't TO yet.
He wasn't, and then they did here.
Yeah.
Well, and then complimentary, they didn't win with TO either. So it's like that. You're right. That really doesn't count.
But Rice was still there.
The way the dimension that he brought to that West Coast offense has to be appreciated. But at the same time, they were so top heavy and talented all over. I mean, we talking about Ricky Waters and
okay. And that's a legit argument for versus Brees because Brees only won one Super Bowl in New Orleans.
But it's like Drew Brees' career numbers are so gaudy. You know what I'm saying? It's like he got yardage, his completion percentage, the things he did for longest. I mean, I don't agree with it, but he can argue even back to the San Diego days. It's like Drew Brees got a career, dog. Drew Brees got a career. He got some numbers. He got and in the chips. That's like it's top heavy because of the situation.
We can say we're younger chips, and then with Brees, we can say the yards.
Did he lose that Super Bowl with the Nate Trump memes and Junior Seau? He wasn't.
I don't think he ever lost when he was Steve Young.
No, not Steve Young. I'm talking about Drew. When Drew was in San Diego, did they lose that Super Bowl?
He was necessarily starting because was it Phillip Rivers over there yet? Somebody was over there. Somebody got him sent out of San Diego. That's how he got to New Orleans.
They might have drafted Rivers.
Okay, that got him out of San Diego.
Because the only knock on him is he's undersized. He was
well, that's what got him out of San Diego. Is they drafted Rivers. Rivers was bigger, more of a conventional quarterback. So, I think that's worth a debate one day. But the career of, we'll put in the chat, the career of Drew Brees versus Steve Young, I'm going to lean towards Steve Young, but I got it on here too. I got it on here as an all-time quarterback debate, Steve Young versus Drew Brees. I think I'm with Chuck. I think Steve Young, I just think he
and Fran Tarkenton were the two white boys had wheels. Only two white boys could scramble around and make a play back in the gap. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you could say somebody like, he wasn't significant though. You could say Doug Flutie or Rich Gannon.
There you go. That is
Rich Gannon.
That is
you know. That's what I'm saying. We don't give Steve Young a lot. See, look, we don't give Steve Young a lot of credit because he succeeded Joe. You know, and Joe was so good, but that's why I tell people all the time, man, to come behind Joe and have your own style.
In a different way. To run your West Coast.
Because Joe didn't run. You know what I'm saying? He could, but he didn't run. But my list, I mean, I'm going to agree with Ryan on this. Exactly. That's Lamarish. So, with the Super Bowl.
What do you rank Troy Aikman?
Stop it, man. I do Warren Moon, and I'm biased. Shout out to my man Moon over here, right here. But to get to my list with Ryan Clark, y'all both brought up some good points. I'm gonna throw Mahomes in that number one. I'm gonna throw Joe Montana in number two. Mm-hmm. I'll slide Brady in there. I gotta slide Steve Young in there. Man, Peyton, man. I don't know, man. Maybe
I'm gonna tell you my problem with Peyton. You probably like me.
Drew Brees, maybe it's those two.
You probably like me with Peyton because it's like I'm telling you, it's just the mechanics. I ain't see Peyton throw too many tight line spirals after Marvin Harris.
Well, here's why I always have an asterisk by Peyton Manning, and in some ways Tom Brady, and it's not their fault. Okay. In fact, I'm going to slide Peyton Manning out for Dan Marino. But what I have, and it's not their fault. When I say this, because people going to kill me in the chat, people going to kill me on the internet. But here's the thing. Both of them benefited in the era where you could not hit the quarterback. There was a surge in the NFL to keep the non-mobile quarterbacks alive because defenses Right, because defenses got so right to preserve them.
It might have been that
And
the tough rule.
and that's the only reason why I don't have Tom Brady as my GOAT is because I remember when Seattle beat them. You know what Seattle said to Legion of Boom? They said, listen, we're just going to hit him. We're going to take the fine. We're going to take the suspension. And if we get kicked out, we're just going to take it. He does not like to get hit. No quarterback likes to get hit. But I would watch him lose his composure if you hit. I would watch him. I'm talking about Tom Brady. I would watch him get hit and look at the ref, and the ref would look and then throw the flag out. They benefited from an era where you could not hit the quarterback. Now, take Joe Montana, take Dan Marino, take Warren Moon, and say you can't hit them.
Slanging it. About to run and shoot. Warren
Exactly.
Moon. Boy,
Yeah. Or I can even take out Dan Marino, like Cole said. Imagine if you couldn't hit John Elway. You see what I'm saying?
With McCaffrey and Russ.
Right. And again, it's not Brady's fault. It's not Peyton's fault, but they benefited from the era.
But it is kind of Tom Brady's fault.
And skill.
Like
listen. Skill wise, that is definitely an argument. See, that's why Steve Young got to be on this list because he's got Michael Vick skills with the MVPs and the Super Bowl
and the completion.
You see what I'm saying? And that's arguable. It's arguable if you're talking about skills. Michael Vick has to be on that list.
Jeff Garcia was T.O. quarterback.
Exactly.
That wasn't even T.O. Right. That wasn't T.O. work.
After Steve Young.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
But shout out to H-Town dude because some people say if you take natural talent, if you take who had the more of a bag, Vic could be in that conversation. He just didn't win.
Yeah. R.I.P. to the man, Steve McNair. Now, you know what I'm saying? You got to put Steve McNair.
If you talk about physical skills and set, dual quarterback. Yeah. All right, let's get. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because the thing is, they changed the rules up so bad. Now you can't hit them. Then, if you are a runner, you got to remember the slide. You got to be hit, or else they can take your head off. They try to take away. You know,
it's unfair what they doing to defensive players from that era to now. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got a lot of respect for John Elway and Joe Montana. Not because I grew up in that time, but I used to watch them get smashed by LT.
Well, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody else for not dragging for ratchet ass into the conversation. I sure appreciate that.
I put Rodgers in before I do far. I put Rodgers. Rodgers did more.
For real.
All right, let's go around the panel and chat. You can also chime in on this question. Hit the like and subscribe. MoSerious.com, DWB, Debate with Bait. All right, who impressed you this week on the panel in the NFL? Let's start with you, Cole, and then we'll start with you, Will. Go ahead, Cole. Who impressed you? Who stuck out with you this week, whether it be player or team?
I want to say was that defense of Kansas City.
Right.
That when the offense didn't show up, they showed up. You know, so that's the definition of a good team.
Right. Defense of the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got, Will?
Much as I hate to say it, I got to say Motown. Anytime you come back and walk a team down and your stud done thrown 5 picks, y'all done showed y'all got a gear that not many people have. I'm not gonna lie. And y'all lost y'all best pass. It's like how much can go wrong in Detroit when y'all still flying? Shout out to Motown.
Yeah.
Shout out to Motown. They did that.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna roll with the Buffalo Bills. And I think even though who they beat the Titans, who they beat the I just like the way they look. I think the world, and I've been one of Josh Allen's biggest critics because he kind of gives you the Brett Favre vibe as far as the gunslinger mentality to turn the ball over a lot. But I tell you, I'm impressed by him. And the thing about what scares me about Buffalo is he's starting to get it together. When I mean him, I mean Josh Allen, in terms of he's not turning the ball over. He's still making Josh Allen-like plays, but he's not turning the ball over. That's why they're 8-2. That's why Diggs left Buffalo. That's why everybody has left Buffalo and they still 8-2 because Josh Allen has figured it out that he doesn't have to make too many plays. He can throw the ball away when it's not there, and that makes Buffalo a contender. I'm going to say Buffalo Bills, and I'm also going to throw one more team in there, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers look good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'll tell you what, if it's anybody other than Kansas City that can knock off Baltimore, it's definitely Pittsburgh. It's definitely Pittsburgh. It's always a tough game anyway. I think Pittsburgh has the physical defense, like one of you guys said earlier, to be able to stop that running attack of Lamar and Derrick Henry. It's not going to be easy. But yeah, I mean, and the thing about it, that's his pick. That is good. That is good because that's hard to win in the NFL just off a field goal. Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. But mine is the Bills and Pittsburgh. I like what both of them do. I think both of them are gonna make a good run in the AFC. All right, let's get to the NBA and then we'll roll up out of here. All right, does the panel believe? I've been itching to ask Cole this. Does the panel and the chat hit that like and subscribe? DWB in the chat. Answer these questions. Does the panel and the chat believe in the 11-0 start by the Cleveland Cavaliers? Let's start with you, Rose, because we started with Cole on that. Do you believe in this 11-0 start? Because it's an 82-game season.
That's a nice little chunk.
But it's 11-0.
Nice little chunk. I'm not gonna get too excited about it. Is it commendable? Absolutely. Is it sustainable? Yeah. I like it. They built. I think they're built for it right now. They got a lot of stuff coming in, and they got a lot to deal with. They got but between Evan Mobley kind of coming around just a little bit better, and then who's the big guy? Jared Allen.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. They got some tough stuff to deal with, and I mean, my man Mitchell you can't make light of Mitchell up. He got the biggest heart I've ever seen out of 6'2". You know what I'm saying? Two guards.
And I'll tell you what, I told you this, and I'm glad you said that. I told you this on one of the other shows. I did not know he does not play like a 6'2" guard.
It's like he makes Garland look like Garland is 6'2", and in some kind of way he seemed like he's 6'5", 6'6".
Right. Cole, how do you feel about the Cavs 11-0 start?
I think it's real because I like Atkinson. I think that he's a coach that I felt like should have never got fired from Brooklyn. I think he's a top-notch NBA coach. I think playing with being an assistant coach for Golden State for the last couple of years too allowed him to see a little bit more emotion, offense. And I feel like he's playing a lot bigger with Mobley, using Mobley, because I think Mobley is the key. I feel like he's always been kind of soft as a big guy, but I feel like he's coming into his own. Will they beat Boston? Will they beat the Knicks? No, I don't think they will. But they probably are right now the third best team, maybe the fourth best when Embiid come back, but definitely the third best team, I will say.
That's Kenny Atkins. I thought that was Jack Vaughn.
No,
Jack Vaughn. He not the coach.
At Cleveland? Yeah. No. Remember we talked about last year. They made it. I think they did it in the offseason. They made a change to him in the offseason. I think was the bigger staff they got rid of.
They got rid of Bickerstaff, but I think he got the coach
Detroit, right?
In Detroit,
yeah. Detroit, right? Yeah. So we talked about it briefly here. They made that move, and it was a significant move. They didn't get that much press.
Yeah, my man looked just like Jack Vaughn. I be thinking that Jack Vaughn.
No. You thinking about somebody else. This dude is white. No, this dude is white.
Oh
no, I know who you thinking about. You thinking about a bigger stuff.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
They're 11-0, playing good. Would you take a chance and make a move for Giannis? Give up Garland and Mobley, or Garland, the center, and a couple other players to give what's his name to play, Donovan Mitchell to play with Giannis? Would you make that move?
That's a good question, because here's the thing. That's absolutely a great question, because here's what I'm thinking when I think about that. If that becomes later, as a GM or an executive in the organization, I mean, I'm talking about Cleveland, I have to sit down and think about what you said earlier about how you felt about this 11-0 start. Are we a top 2-3 team? Even though we're 11-0, Do we think, because last year, them in Orlando have solidified 4 and 5, 6. They're in. They're not in the play. They solidified those middle level spots. The question I ask is, if we're going for Giannis, who are we giving away? And does Giannis make us a top 2 team in the East? In other words, based on who we're trading and Giannis, whatever that lineup looks like, can we beat New York in a 7-game series with this move? Can we beat Boston in a 7-game series with this move? Okay. Can we beat Philadelphia with a healthy Joel Embiid with this move? That's the question I'm asking. So it depends on who we're giving away and what we're getting for Giannis, because Giannis does put you in that conversation. But the question is chemistry. Because if it's some way that we can keep the big kid in the middle, because Milwaukee's going to want something for Giannis. What pieces are we giving away? Because if we can give away Garland, who's an undersized guard, and I hate to give away Allen because of the defensive presence that he gives, it just depends on who we give away. Because if we can give away, and you're good at that, Cole, in terms of GM, it depends on what the package is. Because if it's a package that allows us to keep the main part of this 11-0 start, the main part of this, us being a 4 and 5 seed last year, if we can keep that or somewhat of that, and Giannis, of course, because now that takes us from Orlando, that takes us from, we don't know what Miami is, that takes us from that middle spot of the East where we could possibly 1 or 2 injuries slip down to the play-in, to now we can go 7 games with Boston and possibly beat them. We can go 7 games with New York, because that's the question I'm asking. To me, Boston, New York, and Philadelphia are the top 3 teams. If we get Giannis and we can automatically beat those teams or compete, take those teams to a 7-game series, of course I make that move. But if it's going to take too much of my core on top of Giannis, no, I don't think so. Because at the end of the day, why bring Giannis in and trade away that core and then we just keep dropping down anyway? Yeah, we're going to sell tickets. But at the end of the day, you get Giannis in there with a messed up chemistry, he's going to be gone.
Yeah.
So if we can get what we want with Giannis and it gives us a chance to win that East, of course. I am impressed by the 11-0 start, but it's a long season. And based on them in Orlando, I'm not surprised because they come. They come. Both of them come. Now, are they better than? Well, I still have questions. I don't know if they can beat those 3 teams I just named in a 7-game series. I'm still not sure. I still think they're a middle of the pack team. It's early. It's an impressive start, but again, let's see when injuries come in. Let's see when the season starts to die down. Let's see what's going on, because sometimes these 12-0 and 11-0 starts look good. Phoenix is 8-1. 9-1, So I don't know. I don't necessarily believe in Phoenix, but it's a good sign. So I don't know. It's too early. Cleveland in this run, they look very, very good. I still got them right there with Orlando. All right. Question I want to ask you in the chat and the panel, because it's coming up, and I don't know if it's a fair question, but it's coming up. Speaking of Milwaukee is 2-7 right now. Is it time for Doc Rivers to be on this hot seat? And we'll start with you, Cole.
I mean, I haven't thought Doc Rivers has been good in a while. I think that they should have never gave up Adrian Griffin. I think that he was doing a good job. They had the best record when they got rid of him. I think the issue is that when players feel like when players can't take criticism and feedback, I think it goes a long way. And I think it's ruined the culture of that team. I think when you have players like Darvin Ham, and you have coaches like Darvin Ham and Adrian Griffin hold people accountable, I think that that's what these new age players can't handle, and I think that's exactly what the Bucks need. I think the Bucks need someone who can say, "Hey, y'all not giving effort. Y'all not playing together. You're not playing the right way." But ultimately, it also comes down to the players. They just don't have enough talent,
Yeah. Well, and I think
and the talent is there. I mean,
I agree with everything. I still think they're one of the more talented teams. I think for Milwaukee, they made a mistake and they're living through that mistake. And that mistake is they gave Giannis and them too much power. I think they should have stuck with Griffin. I think Griffin would have made them. He raised the accountability level there, and they sided with the players. This is what happens when you side with the players on these kind of situations. You know, right? It changes the whole culture, and at the end of the day, they got to live with it now. They should have stuck with Griffin. They got to live with it. They tried to bring Doc in as a soft touch and the players coach, and it ain't working. That's the aftermath of you side with the wrong side on that situation. There was no reason to let Griffin go. They were in first place. He was just holding to a higher standard. Players have to adapt. They get paid enough money to adapt. They sided with Giannis and Leonard, and it didn't work out. What do you think?
They got a bunch of them. This is the culmination of a lot of bad decisions. So not only should Doc be on the hot seat, but they need to figure out why exactly they decided to part with Drew and then move Dame on in there, you know what I'm saying, in a little Hollywood spot. Because, I mean, look, Drew is 2 chips down now, and y'all are steadily middling it.
And he was playing at a high level.
Yeah, and he's rising. Guy on the perimeter. Now he got 2 rings and a gold medal boot. You know what I'm saying? Like his stock is steady rising with that Drew Holiday, man. Yeah, Drew was the catalyst defending at that point. You know what I'm saying? With the presence, but now they are middling of the pack team. I love the way you put it on here because it's like, Cleveland has actually surpassed them in this particular point.
Cleveland
so and Orlando, right, and Indiana. It's like it's a little flock of teams. They have surged right past them. Are there salvageable pieces? Absolutely. Doc Rivers not being one of them. I'm not here to pick on Doc. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just like my man said. You know what I'm saying? You got rid of Bud. That's how you got to the promised land in the first place. That's the last time them boys was in pocket was under booting hole. I didn't understand it either. You know what I'm saying? And it's like y'all got rid of Bud. Nah, Phoenix is 8-1 with Bud as well. So the results, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Yeah. But it's like, Doc is just a mainstay. He keeps a job. He's in celebrated around league circles, and he's a figurehead. Right. Like, but I mean, you don't need a player coach all the time. Yeah. Sometimes you need to, like that LA thing ain't gonna work too long. I mean, we'll see how long y'all rocking with JJ. But that's another story.
We gotta talk about that soon.
I think if they get rid of Dame soon before he loses value.
Yeah, and that, I was gonna say that, but you brought up a great point. It's something going on in that organization. Like I said, I think they made the mistake. I think the mistake was made with getting rid of Adrian Griffin. But at the end of the day, too, who signed off on that Drew Holiday play? And I guess they had to do that to get Dame in it. But sometimes you can't go with the superstar. This is no disrespect to Dame. I think the world of Dame. But the way that they put it together, you don't find Drew Holiday all day, every day. A guy that's willing to play both ends of the book. And now he goes to Boston, and it's like, I mean, it's unbelievable. And it makes it look like, and that's what I'm saying, it's something with the organization because look at Boston and look at Milwaukee. One team devalues a player, the other team picks them up, and they win 2 championships or go to 2 championships since Drew been there. I mean, and I tell people that all the time about Boston. They're a historical franchise for a reason. They live to make the difficult decisions. And so, it's something going on with that franchise. I think firing Doc Rivers will be the forefront, like, hey, everybody, we're doing something about it. But I think the real issue is in the front office. Doc Rivers will just be the casualty of war.
I don't even think Doc Rivers is a huge issue. I actually just think
that's what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm saying.
You got Brooke Lopez at center. You got You got a bunch of washed up dudes. I'm not gonna say washed up. You got a bunch of dudes that are pieces on championship ready now teams. You put Brook Lopez on the Lakers to spread the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You put Brook Lopez on with the Dallas Mavericks, something like that. Those are where he could flourish.
But see, and to your point, no, I mean to cut you off. I still think it can work with Giannis there. I think Giannis still has championship years.
I think he still has championship years, but I don't think Lillard's the point guard for that.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. What you're saying, what I'm saying, what Ro is saying, the common denominator is the GM, the front office, the decisions that are being made. Because at the end of the day, I think Giannis can still be a main piece.
Yeah.
But I also think that the firing of Adrian Griffin, the letting go of Jrue Holiday, even other players that have come and gone from there, I think the main culprit of all those decisions is in that front office. Mm-hmm. There's an issue in the front office that they need to address. Firing Doc Rivers that's not enough meat on the bone.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be some changes in that organization at the top, and so I just think that we're saying the same thing. You're just seeing it leak out of different areas of the organization, so at the end of the day, I think it's the GM. All right. True or false? The New Orleans Pelicans will be a playoff team this season. Ro, go ahead.
I think it's false, man. They got a lot of pieces in disarray as well, and it's like, is Murray healthy? Is he healthy?
Broke his hand or something like that.
He's out. He's gonna miss extended time. Yeah, I think they're gonna regress a bit this year. Bi still disgruntled, doesn't really want to be there and playing like he don't want to be there. Zion still in and out the lineup. I think they've got a lot to be happy about, but I think this is a regression year.
Right.
I think they're gonna regress a bit.
Is it time for them to let Ingram go?
Yep.
I think so. I think it's time for them to let Williamson go. I personally
Zion go too if you got
you get a top pick, you go after Cooper Flag, you go after someone to restart. I think Zion's been injured too much, man. I can't trust it. I might even offer you Zion and Ingram for Giannis.
Yeah, that's not deal. The thing is, it's just not the right coach. It's too much gumbo. There's too many things in New Orleans. Keeping Zion out the line. He got too many distractions. So I think it's arrested development with him in New Orleans. I think that he's definitely reached his potential and ceiling there in that particular type of situation. So if you start looking at, like my man says, you got to get off him while you still got some value and you still got some takers. Because he can be a nice complementary piece somewhere else. I think the centerpiece David Dunlop, I agree with.
I think it's safe to say we all agree it's a failed experiment in New Orleans. I think it just took too long for him to get in shape. I think they took too long to make him hold him accountable as far as being an NBA player. I think it's time they do move on. I never thought about that. Maybe it's good for him to go to Milwaukee where there's not a lot of distractions. I mean, it's good out there, but it ain't New Orleans. I think the problem with Zion is this. He's just coming in to learn how to be a professional. And what I mean by that is having yourself in shape every week. He's been able, because of the talent level that he possesses, he's been able to come in college or wherever out of shape. Now you're playing 82 games. Doesn't work like that. And I think it just took too long, and I think New Orleans probably was a little bit too soft with him being a professional. Too much time, too many injuries, and it is probably time for a new environment. I feel bad for Ingram because I think Ingram can still play. I think Ingram can still help a team get to a championship. But you know what? I didn't think about that, Cole. Maybe that's something that Milwaukee looks at. If they're so hot on getting Giannis out of town, maybe that's something they consider. Send Giannis to New Orleans. You still got CJ there. You're gonna have to put some more pieces around Giannis.
Still got Dante. You got
you're gonna have to put some.
Who's injured?
Yeah, you got to put some shooters around Giannis if you're gonna do that. But yeah, I don't know. I think they're, to answer the topic, I think they are a play-in team at most.
New Orleans?
Yeah, New Orleans.
I think they're not going to make the playoffs.
That's what Rose said. Rose said he doesn't think they make the playoffs. I think I'm agreeing with you guys, but I think they're a playing team at best. I think they'll play for a spot and they possibly not get it.
I think if they were healthy, they would have. But the way the Lakers and Golden State's playing, we could already just say Minnesota, Denver, Dallas, and OKC are locks. Period. They're going. And you can say Memphis too. And you can say
Sacramento. You could throw Sacramento in there, like Rose said too.
I just don't see. I don't see New Orleans doing it.
Well, it's possible. It's possible. All right, let me ask you this, because I've been dying to ask you this. It is. Is it time to start worrying about your man in Portland, Scoot Henderson? Check his numbers out so far. So far, his numbers have been, in the first couple of games, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists versus San Antonio a day ago. 5 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists 3 days ago against the New Orleans Pelicans. 7 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist 5 days ago versus the Phoenix Suns. Then 8 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists versus OKC 6 days ago. Is it time? And Cole, we'll start with you on this one because I know you were an advocate for Scoot at one time. Is it time for us to start worrying about Scoot as a professional basketball player?
I think I wouldn't worry about him because I actually think he has a talent. I just don't think that team is the fit for him. I would love to see him play on a team that's more up tempo, who's going to let him play a little bit more freely. For instance, I could see Brooklyn Nets where he get an opportunity. He's big enough to play next to Cam Thomas. I could see him playing with the Lakers, pushing tempo instead of D'Angelo Russell.
Okay, let me put you on the spot here because that's a bold statement, and it could be a true statement. I just want you to explain to the audience more. What exactly is his skill set? What do you think that he does that is not being utilized in Portland?
I think he's a freak athlete like Westbrook. I think that he needs to play up-tempo basketball. I think he needs to run, or he needs to play with players good enough that he can set up and finish. Like I think if he was playing with Anthony Davis, pick and roll with those two, he'd be explosive. I think that if he was playing with in Miami, he could push the tempo with someone who runs up and down the court, like with Bam. I think he'd be a good backup point guard for a team like the Celtics or the Knicks. Like I think he needs a good mix of good players because he has talent. He just needs some good mentorship, but he also needs an opportunity to play freely. And I don't think he can play freely with a team that needs to win. I guess, and or at least with Billups. Billups, his offense reminds me a little bit more of the Detroit Pistons type of offense, So
meaning in his championship days there as a player,
yeah, it's not as free flowing to me when I watch them. It doesn't seem as free flowing.
The scary thing, and then we'll get Rose take next on this too. The scary thing that scares me about Henderson is he started to show me shades of Dennis Smith.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with Ivy. I feel like Ivy's way better player than what he is. I just think he's in the wrong setting.
Yeah, but you got to also understand this too. And I'm playing devil's advocate, I kind of see what you're saying as far as Scoot in Portland, but they're not going anywhere. But to play devil's advocate, you were projected to be that guy. And you're not being that guy. When you're supposed to be that guy, you're supposed to be able to do it anywhere. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I agree with that.
And there is a case that he is sadly underperforming Portland. And some people would say, it's Portland. You should be putting up 40 points a night. You know y'all not winning. You in Portland, y'all getting beat. You're supposed to be that guy. And in the first 4 games, the most points you had is 12, 11 points. And you're supposed to be that guy.
But you make me the number
Fred VanVleet is doing that down here with the Rockets right now.
You make me the number 2 pick, and you don't even start me. That right there is like, and you a bum, and we're a bum team that's not even winning.
That's what I'm saying. Some people would say that's a reflection on you.
But
you can't start. I'm playing devil's advocate. There are no guards in Portland. Why are you not playing? Who are they playing in front of you?
Simons, which I can't be mad.
Yeah, but some people gonna say you ain't good enough to play because it ain't like you got somebody there that's burned up. Yeah, Simons is playing, but Simons is more of a two guard. You can't start at Portland. You supposed to be that guy. I'm playing devil's advocate.
No, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
I don't know. I think that it's really, really coming strangely upon the Sam Bowie syndrome, man. Like, I think them boys' picks is just cursed, bro. Like, think about it. We got Odin came through the count. Bro, hey, we done had Odin come through the count. If they take them boys high, it's
Brandon Roy got hurt.
Yeah, B. Roy got hurt. That was their ticket. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the white boy from UConn, you know what I'm saying, is paying some dividends, playing okay.
Right, though.
But it's like, look, it's definitely time to start wearing. That boy got Buzz written on his jersey. It's like, say, dog, y'all took that boy ahead of Jalen Green? Like, for real, for real? Was that the same draft? He came from G League, from Ignite or something, right? I mean, because he's an athlete, like Cole said, he's explosive. As far as athletically,
that's what I'm saying.
Explosive athlete, but I mean, and it's almost like they Kwame Browned him and they didn't broke him. Oh, I think they broke him. You know what I'm saying? There's at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, I really believe that they like. I mean, when Mr. Big shot and do something to you, you know what I'm saying? Like it mess with your confidence, something like that. You're already a G Leaguer off top, so it's like you done battled adversary.
This is why I love this guy, because it sounds funny, but it's true. It's true what he's saying. It's like it could be
the Sam Bowie syndrome. Some kind of way they just take the wrong guy, and then some kind of way they cultivate it, and then they make room for it. They give you the keys to the team. They ship Dame on out of it. They ain't get on out of town.
Yeah.
So now you got expectations. You the man in town, and not like my man said, you can't even start. Like, I mean, like, yeah, Simons is getting more buckets than you.
You should be able to start it for them.
Yeah, and Simons is gonna feed you. You gotta be y'all ought to be complementary pieces. Y'all on the two guards there. Y'all supposed to be pressing each other in practice.
CJ all over.
See, this situation screams at me. That nigga don't be practicing. That nigga be hanging his head, walking around, don't be listening to shit, and he's not working. Because the thing is, what's dramatically different about him since he's been in his time in the league? Cade, it's like everybody has kind of shown you an elevated skill set in year 2, year 3. This guy,
or even then, even to add to that, not only an elevated skill set, even if they don't, let's say they haven't improved dramatically, but they've shown you games where they had a 30 points.
And you
he went off this game.
It's like
we ain't had that.
Right, rewind that a year or two. Like, what's his best line? Like, I don't preseason included. Like, I just don't see it. It's like, it's great. I mean, shout out to the kid. I hope he gets himself together at some point. But it's like he bears as much of that blame as Portland does. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Exactly.
They are just gonna be.
That's why I say, Cole, I'm playing devil's advocate because what Raw is saying, that's what the other side is saying. It's like
makes sense. It does make sense.
Yeah.
And they draft Cleveland, them boys shit sorry, but Cleveland grab you 20 boards. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of way. Many bricks is they chucking up out there. Cleveland to grab you 20 boards, and he gonna be on the hot ticket out too.
Left, right over here,
like I promise, they gonna get that boy job somewhere else.
Right.
But Portland just a dress rehearsal for everybody. You know what I'm saying? This is a stop along the way. I'm sorry, Oregon. Portland, I will say I love you, but y'all niggas is not trailblazers. Y'all ain't blazing no trails.
Oh man, they worse. Worse. Yeah, they worse. They worse. They worse.
You get them boys a shout. Shout out to them boys for giving me a shot, giving the underdog a shot.
I ain't gonna eat much lie. The old Clippers that I'm talking about, I'm talking about Gary Grant. With Jordan a couple of times, Gary get hyped. They gonna get blown out, but Gary gonna have 30. You know what I'm saying?
Lloyd Falk. It's like, well, got a rich Danny Manning. Pooh Richardson. Oh, man, Anthony Pooh Richardson. Yes, sir.
Pooh Richardson.
Man, that
boys are showing that they might come down to Houston, win a game every now and then, because Max been in the club too much. Shout out to my man Vernon Maxwell. He's doing well in the podcast game, but they might slip one on these.
You see Max looking at the sketch. Oh, we got
exactly. I'm gonna go to the club.
I'm going third ward tonight.
Exactly. Shout out to my man, Mad Max, man. All right. Let me get to this next one, and then we're gonna move on and we're gonna get out of here. All right. I'm interested to know, because this is an interesting comment by Gilbert Arenas. Shout out to my man Arenas, who's always controversial, but he always gives topics worth talking about. But he says the current OKC, meaning Oklahoma City,
team is better than the 2012 Oklahoma City team with KD, Russ, and Harden? Now, I gotta ask the chat. Do we agree with this statement? Let's start with you, Cole. That's a very bold statement. He's saying this year's team is better than that. KD.
I agree. I think they have better role players. I think that there's Dort, Williams, Shaq, Holmgren. First of all, the 3 versus 3. I think Shaq and Williams and Shea is comparable to their big 3. The only difference is I think Shea's a better scorer and a better shooter. I think
Shaq.
Then which one?
You're not comparing Durant, are you? And you know I don't like Durant.
No, but Shea out the same. I'm talking about Westbrook. He's a better.
You comparing to Westbrook? Okay.
At the point guard. However, putting up KD numbers, he led the league in scoring last year.
I mean, but you got to remember, but he's not a point guard. He's a 2 guard. That's why I don't think him and Russ. I don't think you can compare him and Russ. I think you can compare him and Harden or him and KD because they're scorers. I don't necessarily look at Russ as a scorer.
I don't think Russ was a point guard either. I think he was an athlete turned into a point guard.
Well, he was a combo guard. He wasn't a point guard or a shooting guard. He was a combo.
But you can say the same thing with Shea though. Shea is a combo guard.
No. Shea is more of a scorer. He's all scorer. He's not a point guard. He's not a point guard.
I can't name a game where Shea got over.
No, he's not. I mean, Cole. That's why he scores. He's a scoring guard. He's a shooting guard.
But he runs the point and he runs the team well.
Running the point. I mean, Wemby runs the point. Is he really the point guard?
I mean,
what do we mean by running the point in the NBA?
I think the best definition for both of them would be playmakers. They're both playmakers.
But I don't think Russ is. I just don't think. All right, let me just say this. It's subjective. I wouldn't compare Russ's role in the big 3 that he had for Oklahoma City with Gilbert Arenas. I just wouldn't compare those two. But you can go ahead. Go ahead with this is your analysis. So go ahead.
And the only reason why I say that because I think that you could have 2 different type of point guards. You have Marbury, you have AI. And I feel like that's. I never thought.
But see again, I never thought AI was a point guard. I thought he was a shooter.
I feel you.
Eric Snow was the point.
I think Eric Snow was the point. But it all depends. It's your analysis. But go ahead. I don't think they're comparable.
I will say all the role players are better than what OKC had.
I disagree.
Yeah, I totally disagree.
I disagree.
I disagree. I better pull some niggas at my ass right quick and then get on with that one.
Because I'm gonna tell you something, brother. I fell in love with Jeff Green. Man. I went to go watch them here when they played with Harden, KD, and Russ. And Harden, KD, and Russ did their thing. But Jeff Green was a problem. That's when they had a young Serge. That was Serge's best year.
Yep.
That was Serge's best years. I disagree a lot with you on that.
Yeah, like I said, man.
I don't know about the role, but it's your analysis. I just disagree. Go ahead.
I think Nick Collison wasn't better than even who's their starting center.
Exactly. Who is their starting center?
Hartenstein. He ain't better than Hartenstein.
They about the same.
Nick Collison?
They about the same. They about the same.
New York bias.
About to say because at least Collison can shoot. Hartenstein is a strong rebounder. Come on now, you lost that one. I don't know about that.
I mean, I throw the Rocket too. I love IT too. I love Hartenstein too. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're reaching on that one too, brother.
I think they're a better shooting team. They got shooters all over with the Wallace kid, with freaking. I don't know. I mean, it's an argument. I just think they're more versatile than that.
Okay.
Hibachi got to get on with that bullshit. Okay, now look here. We talking about first off top. We got 3 first ballot Hall of Famers in that core alone. Period.
Well,
these kids are good.
Well, and it still remains to be seen. In all fairness,
yeah, for sure. But he said today, the current OKC team. So it's we saw what that team did.
I mean, that's still unfair because they haven't had a body of work yet.
Not really. They got to. And then when we split hairs about the role players. Think about the role players of the bread and butter where that team is run. Hell, the role players got 2-3 rings. They went to a final, that team, but
Big Perk, and what you
forgot
call
Perk was on that
Perk
team.
and
Surge.
Perk and Surge didn't get their rings till they left. So
Did
it's like
Jeff get one? I think Jeff played with somebody. Did Jeff get one?
Bron in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff got one
Man,
in
so it's
Cleveland.
like you talking about the bench on that team, and this team is great. Don't get me wrong, this OKC team is fire, like straight up stacked, top to bottom. But it's just pound for pound. It was a special team. Beat them. Other than that, they'd have a ring. They got a ring. That team,
Miami team.
Oh man, that Miami
That
team.
was LeBron and Wade.
And see, that was a different D
Bron.
Wade animal. That was a
Yeah,
different D
that
Wade
was-
animal. There.
That
So
was
just,
when
you know,
hands down
yeah.
D Wade was the best two guard in the league by far.
It was like, and then bottom line, you get them on the 2K and you play them and match up with them. I just can't see on paper. Like I said, I just can't see many teams locking up with that 2012 OKC team with that core.
That was
I mean,
a good team.
that was KD's best year. I mean, a lot of people say KD's best time was in Golden State being fed.
And
He
when
was
I
doing-
say that, people get
Bro,
mad at me.
nah,
he
he-
even get mad at me. I tell
As a
him,
matter of fact,
I think OKC.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I was so mad he left.
OKC KD was like Jordan and Kobe.
That was
compared.
a step reaper.
That was like Bron and
Yes.
KD battling
Yes.
for supremacy in the league
Yes.
back then. You know, and it
he
was like
get mad at me when I tell him that. That's why I'm so
you feel me?
disappointed in him.
And them initials, that boy got a bad taste in his mouth in 2012.
Yeah.
That's what made all that Golden State shit
Yeah.
happen. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, he
Yeah.
didn't
'Cause
choose
they
to be a
lost
snake till
Golden
then.
State because of him,
There
and
you
then he
go.
goes and joins.
There you go. So I love this present OKC team for what they're doing, but it's a different league. And that's a different kind of car right there. That's like old 6-7
I think they win a chip in the next 2 years.
No, maybe. Well, that's a
Ooh,
bold
that's a
statement.
lot to put on them.
And that's
They
going
got the talent though. They are, I will say this to you in all fairness to your statement. They probably are them, Cleveland and Boston are probably the three best teams in the league. Right? They might even be better than Boston.
I like New Minnesota with Julius Randle out there, though, man. I ain't gonna lie, Minnesota been looking
Yeah, they
nice
look
with
good.
a little
They
flow
look good.
space.
They look good,
You
but
know.
do you think they better than OKC? I don't think they.
I don't think they
What I
better
like
per
about
se.
OKC is they got
They
a
can give them a run.
who shows up in every single. He showed up in the playoffs. He just shows up.
I get it.
think
I
Williams
get
is
it.
getting better. I think Williams is getting better, and I think their team chemistry. It just looks like everyone likes each other.
I get it. No, I get what you're saying. It's just I think a lot of people sleep on that 2012 OKC team. And I'm
Caruso
biased.
off the bench too.
Huh?
You got Caruso coming off the bench too.
Yeah, but I'm not so on Caruso.
And them niggas had Harden coming off the bench. I don't even know why they got him as one of the core three people. They had like Tabo Cephalosha
Exactly.
or somebody
Exactly.
playing, eating up minutes.
That
And
was
he
nice, Cole. I think you got to remember that team, man. I think Gil is tripping on this, man. I don't know.
now they might end up being better as time progresses, but I still think that 2012 they might go to two finals and lose them both.
Right,
You know,
right. Right. All right, let's get into college basketball and then we'll get out of here.
Had a good show. Shout out to Chuck, man. Shout out to Mo City
Studios for letting us get this space, man. It's nice and comfortable in here, man. It makes me feel like we actually is here on the couch comfortable, man. It feels like it feels like the podcast atmosphere, man. Cole, I can't wait to get you back down here. Dude. You got to feel it. You can sit in these chairs. So shout out to Mo City Studios for this. Shout out to Chuck for setting this up for us, man. The hottest producer in the business. All right, let's get down to it. College basketball. Now, I don't know much, Cole. I know you've been following the road. You didn't dip a dabber a little bit into college basketball. But let me ask you this. I'll start with you, Cole. Anybody out there that sticks out to you right now, and it's very early in the season, but anybody sticks out to you, whether it be team or individual right now in college basketball?
I'm sticking with the dude that everybody know, Cooper Flagg. He's special. He's special.
And you think that the team itself is special, or is it just mostly him? I mean, it's dude.
I think the team is special. I think it's still very early. I think we won't really know until about just after Christmas. Who's who? North Carolina, Arizona. Got the typical.
Somebody's playing tonight or tomorrow.
I'm a big Caleb Love fan, man. I've always been a Caleb Love fan.
He didn't transfer to like 6 different
Damn,
schools,
it was
man.
He's been in Arizona for the last 2 years. He's
For real?
cool.
I remember
I thought he went to the league.
distinctly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he left Carolina. Like,
Yeah, he left Carolina.
Yeah,
This is year 2 at Arizona.
yeah, he left Carolina. He did. Now I'll tell you this: he is a good player. He's gonna be one of the top players. This is a candidate for player of the year. I'm gonna tell y'all who to watch out.
Captain Jack.
No. Watch out for Arkansas Calipari. He's over there now. And
I can remember we were just talking about Calipari job.
We didn't know who was going to take that job. Remember they offered to UConn all that money.
That's right.
Well, he is in Arkansas right now, and they got studs down. They got studs. They back.
Northern Richardson days, but
you know Calipari gonna be sponsored by Nike. They got Nike everywhere. Watch out for the Razorbacks, man. Watch out for the Razorbacks. But I mean, to echo what Cole is saying, yeah, Flag he is a top tier talent. And Duke is gonna be tough. But I think people need to watch out for Arkansas. I think the SEC is gonna be strong as usual. But I think they're gonna be real strong. We got Arkansas that's looking real good. I think Kentucky's gonna look pretty good.
Did Auburn come down here and knock us off the weekend?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I was watching a little bit of it in
I think y'all ranked top 10, ain't y'all?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're gonna be good. Houston gonna be good. You know the thing about Houston is this: we're gonna be there all year. We might even get a number 1 ranking. But the thing about it is, and that's the only criticism I have about Samson is he runs a 6-7 man rotation, and as the year goes by, bodies just fall off. Injuries, it happens all the time. And that's my only criticism about Samson, that he runs the 6. They play so hard. He
did the same thing with Blake and them at Oklahoma.
Right. That's just how some coaches, man, they do a 6-7 man rotation. But anybody in college basketball, it's been hard to keep up with. Because you know what I don't like about college basketball, what they do? Well, yeah, the girls, yeah. We're gonna do a whole show on that. I got to talk about her, the kid in Connecticut, and even South Carolina. I feel like South Carolina. I don't know if they running some kind of pipeline or something, but they don't never run out.
You feel me? They got 6-7 from Brazil.
It's like all right, they're gonna fall off now. Yeah, I think they better.
No.
Yeah, for a minute. They just it's
back
like
when you had the red shirt. It's like they got 4-5 people like red shirt ain't even played. Just
like
worked
the
out.
WNBA has a secret draft, and they like, all right, y'all come into the league, but we're not gonna let y'all come right now. We're gonna put y'all in this back room, and then y'all go to the back door to South Carolina practice. I mean, they just keep me low. We're gonna do a whole show on that on women's college basketball. But yeah, man. U of H. They're going to play hard. They're going to be there, but again, the injury. But anyway, all right, let's get to the end, man. I got a couple shout-outs, and we'll get out of here, man. Shout out to Mookie
Betts for becoming the only active position player to win 3 World Series titles. Shout out to my man, Mookie Betts, who don't get enough coverage in L.A., man. He is one of the best players of all time. He doesn't get that title, but shout out to my man, Mookie Betts, representing the champion Los Angeles Dodgers. And shout out to my man Jaron Bootz Ennis for winning his fight this weekend over Karen. I cannot say that dude's last name. It's the second fight.
Second shot at Jaron Bootz in his 147-pound welterweight championship IBF title. Ennis got 1 knockdown and with the distance. Shout out to great title. And shout out to my man Baron Rodriguez for also stopping his opponent. Those are my shout outs for today. Cole, you got any shout outs?
Shout out to H-Town for beating the best team in the NBA, man. Get your 1 win of the season against us.
Or when you say the best team, you talking about the Boston Celtics?
No, we talking about New York Knicks, the best team in the best city in the world, man.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not in the United States, because I hear you've been saying that slickly all night. In the best team in the United States, not in the world, man. The best city in the world. And we a blue state.
I thought they were going to slide by. You got that. You got these shout outs wrong, man.
Man, I got to say, shout out to Michael Strahan, man. My man done took a lot of flack for some good bullshit because the Make America Gay Again campaign. We're not going to talk too much about that at all. But my man supposedly caught some flack on Fox Sports behind something he did, this, that, and other, that they've been giving my man Kaepernick, they gave my man Strahan some grief about it, but they won't give the Bosa brothers no issue over what they got going on. So we gonna highlight the double standard. We're gonna keep moving. Shout out to Strahan though. Keep it 100. Keep the fight.
Or that Beetle girl who slipped up on fan TV and used the N-word.
Oh, and dropped the N-bomb. Yeah, sure did. The Denver
I heard about
colors.
that.
The Denver colors, we gonna say. My goodness gracious. And probably ain't got no leave of absence, no nothing, just blind eye, laughable.
And Lou Williams laughing it off like it was house.
The funny part about it is, man, I heard about this stuff. I ain't seen. I had to go back and check it out. But shout out to Mo City Studios for letting us get in here and rock out, man, for season 3, episode 8. Shout out to my man Cole up in New York. Shout out to the man with the plan to the left, my boy Roll Laro, a.k.a. Mr. Roll, Mr. Third Ward himself, representing Texas with their gear on. Shout out to my man Chuck, the hottest producer, and the man that's behind this whole most serious machine that we operate in. One part of the vehicle, Debate with Bake, DWB. Shout out to the chat, everybody who participated, who makes this show go round and round and keep us going. And shout out to everybody that gives us that like and subscribe. And if you're watching us, please give us that like and subscribe. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy for us putting money in your pocket. But anyway, shout out to everybody on the chat. Shout out to MoSerious.com. Go on there, check it out, get some merch. Check out DWB. Check out the other podcasts. And we do have more podcasts to go. Shout out to my man Anthony Denton, who played in the NFL, who also played at Notre Dame. Shout out to him coming on the show the last 2 weeks. And he's also recommended some more guys that we might get on this show, or we might even expand some more podcasts on MoSerious.com. But anyway, shout out to everybody. DWB episode 8, season 3, and we are out.
Season 3, Debate with Bake Sports Show. We coming live from the Mo. You know how we go. We talking basketball, football, and boxing. You got something to say, man? Jump up in them comments. We gon' keep it real with opinions and facts. Let's look at the stats. Well, that settles that. It ain't no hating. We just debating, interviewing guests so we can learn how they operating. Give you our perspective in a way that's captivating. Another sports show to put in your rotation. See, Bake choose the topics, everybody looking. Laro got the commentary and he keep it cooking. Cole with the game, he coming live from Brooklyn. You know, it's the most serious production. We giving game free, so tap in and see. Season 3, DWB.